Hey everyone, welcome back to Old Eagle Garage. Today we're going to be working on my 78 GMC pickup. The blower motor is only working on high. Suspect it's going to be the blower motor resistor. I'll take you through that fix and we'll get it back going again. So stick around. Alright, so let's take a look here about what the actual problem is that we're facing. I'm going to go ahead and switch the ignition on over to the run position just so we can try out and see what the problem is. Let's switch this over to vent so we can get the fan working. Kind of hear the fan moving a little bit, but it doesn't really do anything until you switch it up on to high. So what I suspect is the resistor is probably bad. From what I understand about blower motors, things like that, and when you switch them on, is they will run on high when the resistor is bad because it's a direct line to the blower motor. It doesn't need any resistance. It's just going to run top speed, and then the lower level on the fan won't run when the resistor is bad because of that reason. So let's get under the hood. We'll take a quick look at that and get that part replaced. Alright, so here we are underneath the hood, the passenger side firewall. You're going to see right up here amongst all your HVAC, the actual part that we're going to be changing out, the blower motor resistor. I'll bring you in here a little bit closer. You can kind of see where it's at. It's pretty easy to get to. It shouldn't be too difficult, even when you have AC and stuff. That's kind of out of the way here, so I'll bring you over, let you get a closer look to it. The part we're going to be changing is right here, blower motor resistor. You see it just got a plug-in into it, pretty easy to get to. So let's take a 5/16 socket and we'll go ahead and change that out. Looks to me like this has probably never been removed on this truck. Go ahead and unplug this until you get that out of the way. Down there. Now you see it's just a simple little screw there holding that in. Important thing would be going back in and not over tightening, because this is all just going back into plastic, so you don't have to go real tight on this. Just make sure it's snug. Put those up there. And here we go, the old one. You can see it's not real bad actually. So we're going to put the new one in. We'll see what that does for us, see if that helps our problem out. See, we probably could have just cleaned up the contacts here, and this may have been okay, but we'll put the new one in. We'll see what happens. All right, I went with a part from Rock Auto, the Four Seasons. I don't remember exactly what it costs. It's a little over $18. They make them. They've got cheaper parts on there, so if you don't want to spend that much, you don't have to. I'd heard pretty good reviews on this company. The part number is 20083. Something else that's I should note on here is when you're going and purchasing a part for your truck, for the blower motor resistor, you're going to have to know if it was factory equipped with air conditioning. This truck was. It doesn't work, but it did come out of the factory with air conditioning, so that's a different part number. So just keep that in mind when you're getting ready to buy a new blower motor resistor for your vehicle. But you can see, just comparing them both, they look really similar. All right, you'll be able to see right down into the box here. That one doesn't look too bad, too dirty. So this will just fit and just slide right back down into place. There's really no way to get it wrong as far as you're putting it back in there. Pretty easy install there. Again, just snug, guys. You don't want to He-Man that part back on. I'll tell you what. Let me go get a brush. I'm going to clean up the contacts on that plug just a little bit. All right, let's see here. I don't know if this is going to make much of a difference. I've had mixed results out of cleaning the contacts. It definitely can't hurt. It's going to be difficult to get all the way down in there. Alright. So you can see the plug will only go back on one way. I mean, you'll see how it's indexed on there. So it'll just plug right back in. Make sure it seats on there, which that seems like it does. Alright. So that's pretty much it on the install. Now let's turn the key and turn the fan on. See if that helped our problem out. Alright, let's see how we did changing out that part. I'm going to go ahead, let's put this up on run, change this over to vent, and let's go through the fan options here. Alright, that is significantly better. So I can hear low running, low medium is actually running now. I couldn't hear that before. And then medium high is actually moving a whole lot more air than what it did before. And then of course on high is working, but it was working before, but these other lower level selections were not. So that took care of our problem. Pretty simple fix. I'm not a mechanic. I just, through the years I've had to work on my own stuff out of necessity because I didn't have the money to pay somebody. And I've had quite a few vehicles where this happened, not just old vehicles, even some newer ones, where the fan will only work on high, and it always was the blower motor resistor that had to be repaired and replaced. So hopefully that helps you out. Again, 73 through 87 square body Chevys and GMCs. I would think also Suburbans and Blazers would fit that same category. And you can see it's right there, very easy to get to on the passenger side firewall, and 2 screws out, new part goes in, 2 screws back in. Pretty simple fix. The part's not very expensive either, depending on how high end you want to go on it. So that was it for this fix. If you want to stick around, I'm going to do a couple more things to this little truck here. Some things I've been needing to get done. If you want to hang out, that'd be great. If not, I completely understand. But just I appreciate you being here and watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. For those of you that want to hang out for a minute, stick around. All right, for those of you that are sticking around with me here for a minute, I'm going to just do some routine maintenance on this truck. We're not changing fluids or anything like that today. I've already done that recently. But one thing for sure I'm going to do is I'm gonna lube up these hinges here. So you can see I put the hood saver on this truck already to save the hood, because while this is just an old rusty truck, the hood was in really good shape. It had not been bent or kinked yet. So let's go ahead and get these hinges lubed up. And pretty much any of the points that move, you don't have to go super wild on that, but you want to get in there. All right. I'm just using the blaster multi-purpose today. I don't have much left in this can, but it'll be enough to do this. And this stuff smells amazing. It's got like a vanilla scent to it, which I never would have guessed that matters to me. But Smells quite good. Okay, that should be sufficient for that. Again, I can smell the vanilla in the air from that blaster product. It's pretty good. Let's just work that hood a little bit. Right, that seems pretty good. Again, if you're worried about that on your square body, you can get these hood savers. They're pretty easy to install. A lot of different brands on that, different products depending on what you want to spend. These weren't super high end, and they seem to be doing a really good job, and they were easy to install, so I recommend that. I think the only ones, the square bodies that you really have to worry about are the 70s model square bodies. If I'm wrong on that, please comment and let me know, but I think the 73 up to what, 79, the hoods are kind of flawed on those trucks, and the hinge system is flawed, and they will buckle if you're not careful. So I try to keep the hinges well lubricated. Next thing I'm going to do, something I've probably needed to do for since I own the truck, was I'm going to put new taillight lenses on this thing. You can see these are I don't know, they're very, very difficult to see during the daytime. I don't drive this truck at night much at all, but during the day, especially when on a really sunny day, it's very difficult to see when the brake lights are activated on this truck. And I like the look of the old lenses because it really matches the patina on the truck. As you can see, it's not a shiny truck at all, but I definitely need to be seen during the day a little bit better than what I am. So I'm going to change these out, and we'll see the before and after here and see if it makes much of a difference. All right, that's the old lenses, brake lights activated, and then we're gonna change these out, and then we're gonna get a look at what the new lenses look like. I'll say this, inside the garage, this looks pretty good, but when you get out in the sunlight, it's very difficult to see the brake lights. So let's get the new ones in there, and then we'll check it out, see what it looks like. All right, the lenses that I went with, I got from Summit. Looks like it's called Eagle Eyes is the name of the company. So we're gonna see if what these look like. I went with these. They were a couple more dollars for a couple reasons. I don't know yet if I'm going to use these trim rings that came with it. You see, but also it's a pretty good looking lens, pretty clear. But it also came with the hardware. I know that sounds, I don't know, kind of dumb, but I wanted the correct hardware. I've probably got some here, but I didn't want to have to look for hours on end trying to find the correct hardware. And the hardware that is on the truck, somebody's rounded off. It's just not great. So that was a big deal. A lot of the other places I looked for lenses just came with the lens, no hardware, no trim ring. So I'm going to install these without the trim ring. I'm going to see what they look like. If I like them, I'll leave them that way. But not a bad looking lens. Screw here. It was, somebody gave that thing the beans at some point. It is just about rounded off. I can get it out of there, but these lenses have definitely been out, in and out before, multiple times. I know this seems like a lot of people, it's like, why are you taking the time to change out the lenses? They're not broken, they actually do the job. I don't know, I got to thinking the other day, I was driving the truck, and these are so hard to see in the daytime. All right, so you can see that old lens, it's in pretty rough shape. But I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to hang on to it. You never know. Might have another old truck one day, and lenses might be completely busted on that. So that lens would be better than nothing. All right, let's get the new one on there. I got new gaskets for these too. So let's pop this old gasket off. And that thing is brittle. That's probably the original gasket. We'll put the new one in place here, maybe. Yeah, that should work. There we go. Help to seal it up a little bit, maybe. New lens in place. Let's go and get one started here. Is there a wrong way to put on lenses? I don't know. I guess you could go too much torque, break them. Guess that'd be wrong. But I'm just going to go just to the point where they snug and not any further. Mainly because everything on this truck is super. That sounds real bad, but it's just a gasket. Get it set into place. Oh, what I was saying was everything on this truck, as you can see, I mean, is super high end. It's really expecting an offer to come show it off at SEMA, but they didn't. No one called. So there's always next year, I guess. All right. Let's get the driver's side down. All right, let's see what these new lenses look like. I know it may not look a lot different than what the old lenses did on camera anyway, but in person, that is a big difference. And I think that's going to help out during the daytime, especially on a really sunny day, help people see the brake lights on this old truck. Thanks for hanging out with me today. We got the blower motor resistor changed on this old truck, which I've needed to do for a little while. It's going to be getting cool outside, so I'd like to be able to run the heat on another setting besides full blast. I think here in a minute I'm going to take a cruise into town. I've got to get some gas, and I think I'm going to bring my dog Norman with me, so if that's something that interests you, stick around. I'm going to video that. Other than that, hey, I appreciate it. If you like this kind of stuff, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe. I've got check out some other videos that I have out there. We go and we do a lot of different stuff. It's not just turning wrenches and driving old trucks, which is something I really enjoy doing, but that's not everything. I will say, I want to put the disclaimer out there, I am not a mechanic. I'm not. I'm just a guy that's had to turn some wrenches here and there because I didn't have the money to pay somebody else to do it, and just picked up a couple little things along the way. But really, I'm just a parts changer. I'm not a mechanic, so I can't diagnose engines and do all that kind of stuff. Although I'm learning, and YouTube's been a big part of that, by the way. Just like I imagine that it is for a lot of you. And probably if you're not a mechanic and you haven't been trained to be a mechanic, that's probably how you learn too, from other people or from watching videos on it. So, hey, thanks for coming by. Again, it means a lot to me that you take the time to hang out with me today and watch this video. Maybe it'll help you out on your old rig. If the blower motor's not running, it's probably something simple. And the parts are inexpensive and easy to find. So, thank you very much. We'll see you again on the next one. And if you want to stick around, watch me and Norman drive into town to see what we get into, then I'd appreciate having you. Thank you.